starting lineup first for the Hokies of Bill Foster. It looks like this. You've got to watch Damon Watlington. He's their big gun from the outside with Good in the backcourt, Custis Smith and Jackson up front. And for the Golden Eagles of Coach Mike Deane, the man to watch for them is Anthony Pieper, a career high 32 the other night with Miller, Eford, Abraham, and McCaskill. Larry Lembo, Frank Scagliotta, and Tim Higgins, our officials, were underway at Madison Square Garden.
And the Wolverines straight up man-to-man, Brad.
Miller. Here's Eford inside. Looking to kick it back out. Nice defense by the Hokies. Here's Pieper. Well, he's off the mark tonight. He wasn't very off on the other night. And Sean Good will push it up for the Hokies.
I'd say they're going to pay attention to him, aren't they? Get up on him. Miller was wide open on the wing. Amal never looked that way, McCaskill.
Sean Smith, the big fella, squares, and McCaskill pulls it off the weak side. And here's Miller with 950 career assists, but tonight it's a turnover on the first pass.
Not good judgment either. Had it on the wrong side, the deny side.
Team's just a little bit excited, I think, right now in their first two possessions. Jackson cut off by McCaskill on the baseline. They go right back into him, or try to. Sean Good, Pieper on him, and they clear out for Good. Back outside, going to have to hustle on a shot now. Smith drives. Jackson tips it in.
He was solid the other night. He got his share of points, but a terrific rebound. You mentioned a tight end in football, all state and two sports. That'll do it. Little 2-3 look right now. Test the outside shooting. You've got to stay at home on Pieper. Keep your eyes on Pieper.
That's for sure. Nice entry pass. Miller and McCaskill lost the handle. There's a reason, though. It was bumped. First foul goes against Sean Good.
They do scrape down there, Bill Foster. He's had a few stops along the way. Shorter college. You probably worked those games. UNC, Charlotte, Clemson.
I don't think so. I did the Clemson ones, but I don't go quite back enough for shorter.
And what did they say in the book? A golfer, he's got the nickname Sheriff, which is when he started, he hit the ball so far when he putted, he had to go gather it up.
Miller again will pack it inside. Now back out, and Eford's got an open three. Custis with his first rebound.
Shooting the ball, it does come and go for Marquette. 41% for the year.
Custis on the baseline, and nobody home except Pieper to pull it down for Marquette. Golden Eagles still looking for their first basket. And we're almost 2.5 minutes into the game.
Switching the looks, makes and misses. Straight up man run a stack, some bumps.
Eford backs out. 8-10 on the shot clock for Marquette. Nice job defensively by the Hokies. Miller thought about a three, trying to get away from Good. And Good, with better than good defense, comes up with a steal.
They are very good, extraordinary at going down and digging for those balls on the post guy.
We have said throughout this run by Virginia Tech and the NIT that they are fundamentally sound, I think, and make as few mistakes on both ends as most teams are going to see. Credit their coach for that. Eford on a miss. Custis, another rebound.
There's something to be said for being around, and maybe the time off, too.
Yep.
Get those impure thoughts out of your head.
You never have.
Mea culpa.
Just 2-0.
Back screen and a power lock by a power performer.
And the power, Sean Smith shows up there, and he got dumped on a double team. Here's how these two teams reached the NIT championship tonight. It was Virginia Tech 71-59 over a scrappy bunch from Canisius in a game that wasn't close early and got close in the second half. And Marquette in a seesaw battle with Penn State that saw both teams up double figures during the game. Marquette won it 87-79. And you see there was a regular season matchup, as Raph and I talked about earlier. It went to Marquette, rather to West Virginia at Marquette, 57-54. By the way, Penn State won the consolation game tonight over Canisius. So here's Park Hill's Nittany Lions in their season on an up note. It's always tough for a team to come in here and feel good going home 0-2, but definitely Canisius should feel good about their season, even though they lost tonight. Nice entry pass, and a foul inside will go on Jackson. Travis Jackson, that is. As we'll see David Jackson off the Virginia Tech bench. He's about the only bench that Bill Foster's got.
And Brad, a little too easy. Look at where this pass came from, the top right down. You can see not prepared, wide open. That's usually a strong completion.
3.5 in, and Marquette doesn't have a basket. That's not unlike them. The good news is, if you're a Marquette fan, they've only given up 1 hoop.
Virginia Tech, a little 2-3. Test the shooters.
People got Watlington in the air, but Custis has his 3rd rebound. Looks like the ace is off on a tear tonight on the boards.
And you got to think, too, it rests Virginia Tech as well, that zone. You like the ace, don't you?
I do. Here he is behind the back. Not a good pass that time. Virginia Tech's first turnover.
No behind the back in Vegas, ace.
Maybe under the table, but never behind the back. Eford sets for a triple. They can't find it so far. This is the way Marquette has really played all season. They can be ice cold, but they tend to put stretches together. Right now, it's just Virginia Tech early, 3-0. Virginia Tech by a field goal, and Marquette still looking for its first touchdown. Virginia Tech's road to the final. They beat Clemson and Providence, then down to Mexico State with 2 seconds left on a 3-pointer and a 71-59 win over Canisius the other night. And Ace Custis has had double-doubles in all 4 games leading up to this one. Watlington, 16.3 points, and he's been hot from the outside. So far, nobody really hot. Marquette is batting over from the field so far. Ace has 3 rebounds. Adrian Custis, if you will.
A little emotion in that Clemson game, I'm sure. Bill Foster, having coached there. Providence, you did, which was a terrific
great game.
And then New Mexico State with a big hitter late.
Trying to lob it, and they turn it over. 3rd time they've done that. So 0 for 6 from the field and 3 turnovers. And Mike Deane's got a headache already on the sideline.
Well, that eye's starting to close.
Yep.
Huh? Got to get some shots, fellas. Nice little double screen, a good look.
Watlington, we just talked about his 3-point prowess. He misses that one. It's cleared off by McCaskill.
What do you go, 4 for 4 in the first half?
Yeah.
Last night.
Crawford spinning and running into a double team on the baseline, and he throws it away.
Now, I would like to say great defense, but a little stage fright, maybe. The main ring.
It's been a while since I've seen a game 5 minutes old and one team that hasn't scored, and the other team has 3 points.
I guess you never did our games, huh? You were probably in college when I was coaching.
I was lucky.
They will run some nice things, get it low to the box. Either Smith, Jackson, or Custis
is doing a nice job on the glass for Marquette. Tony Miller trying to create something. Eford, 3 is short. 0 for 7. Pieper, try another one. Got it.
Give that kid's family a scholarship.
Now, everybody in the family's been an athlete. His brother played basketball at Wisconsin Oshkosh, and his sister and a 3-year starting point guard at UW Milwaukee. And his old man was a pretty good football player at Oshkosh. So they've had it in the family, and Pieper with his first 3 ties us up.
They spin out, go box to box. They're active on the perimeter.
Travis Jackson tries to fade away on the baseline. Tony Miller, who's not only a great assist man, he's a pretty good little rebounding guard. He pulls one down.
He's a solid little performer. When he does shoot the ball, it does open things up. Only about a .330 guy, 33% from field goal and regular.
Talking about 558 career rebounds. Not bad when you're 5'11".
What do we say? Over 900 assists.
Yeah, 950 coming in.
Yeah.
Here he is as a shooter. Got it. Well, if we play it enough, he'll come through for us, huh?
33% from 3. It's Miller time. Well, we got a couple hours.
That's right. That's right. And the folks back in Milwaukee, of course, know what that's all about. 6-3, and Marquette has its first lead. Not good on a cut around Pieper.
They're very active. They set themselves up nicely for cuts, and both guards get into the 3-second area beautifully.
Miller now will back it out. 12:45 to go first half. 6-5, low scoring game. Marquette in front.
And Crawford in the game, he's a good deep shooter. If they can get him the basketball on a reverse. Well,
Tony Miller is going to take another one. And Crawford, Raph just talked about, gets a tough rebound. Eford will try it from 15.
Well, that's the city game, huh? Change it, double clutch, and still knock it down.
Golden Eagles again by 3. Custis working the baseline over Eford. Sean Smith, nice save. But then Custis threw it away. 3-on-1. Found the right man, it looks like. At least it drew a foul as Ronnie Eford goes down hard.
Think he gave it up a little early, just a little. They had the numbers, and when you don't score well and you get the open floor opportunity, defense could react, maybe one more and freeze the defender. But earlier from Berkshire and New Hampton, this was not learned in the suburbs. Double clutch and knock it down, Ronnie.
Ronnie will step up, 6'6" junior. Homecoming for him as he grew up in Queens.
And I know you do all your homework. How about him working for Senator Herb Kohl?
That's right.
He'll end up probably as a limited partner in the Milwaukee Bucks as well.
Wisconsin Senator Herb Kohl, who Ronnie worked in his office last summer. Got to go back to work at the free throw line. But Pieper with a deuce.
And now the full court pressure, trying to create some activity, get some offense out of their D.
Lead is stretched to 5 for Virginia Tech.
They cushion very well, Marquette. You notice how Eford's able to play the post guy. They're almost tempting you to take the deep shot.
David Jackson in there, the 6th man off the bench for Virginia Tech. Didn't score the other night after having 3 really good games to get here. Sean Good underneath, got a piece of the rim, goes back up as he got his own rebound. Just barely got that shot off to hit rim enough for a fresh 35. 11:23 left on the game clock. And it's Marquette out in front of the Hokies by 5. Faces in the city. Pete Carlesimo, his lovely wife Lucy, and of course the father of PJ.
And a number of others.
That's right.
And Pete started, it was the former NIT executive director, but he started the preseason NIT, which really gave some credence. And
he also started the idea of having the first 3 rounds on campus sites, which was a great idea and has proved to be.
And part of his retirement was those 2 seats for every NIT performance. Of course, PJ in town to play the New Jersey Nets tomorrow night.
I had a chance to sit next to Pete and Lucy at Sunset Boulevard on Broadway last night.
And they explained it to you, I'm sure.
They explained most of it to me. And Pete said after the first act, when I came back, that Glenn Close wouldn't sing again until I found my seat. So 1 quick beer and I was back in there. Field goal defense on the season, 2nd in the NCAA for Marquette. And you can see that they are doing a number on the Hokies tonight so far.
And he did the same thing at Siena, Mike Deane. I mean, they are sound. Stay at home. Don't gamble. You can see the penetration taken away.
That kid can shoot if he gets it going, but it rolls out on him. And another rebound from McCaskill.
A mile, solid, bad leg and all.
Nice drive, maybe a little bit out of control by Hutchins. He's fun to watch, though. And he lit it up the other night, and he has throughout the tournament.
Nice pass, too. He does give him some spark.
Ace Custis picks up the foul as they entered it into McCaskill. And Ace has a couple.
Yeah, you look at the background of Aaron Hutchins and Mr. Basketball in Ohio. That says a lot for him. And he's not just your everyday recruit, but he just lifts this team, particularly a team that dies. I mean, they have periods of the game where they just can't knock shots down. He gives them a little oomph.
I wonder if a guy that has in the NIT in the past, if there's ever been an MVP who is not a starter. I mean, you got to think about this kid. 20 points one game, 12, 18, and then 18 again, 16 in the second half the other night. Nice entry pass. McCaskill got off a tough shot. Sean Smith, who was in double figures on the boards with 14 the other night, has a strong one there.
And I think Travis Jackson may have gotten a piece of that. This is where they're having trouble right now, the Hokies. Not cutting when it gets in there.
Jackson had it partially blocked by Chris Crawford. Again, they get it inside, but this time knocked away.
Lamal's got to step to it a little bit. Don't give up that easily.
Jackson, good-looking drive, went up with the right hand. Watlington missed the putback, and here comes Marquette the other way. Well, you can't say Virginia Tech didn't have 2 nice tries at it there. But the Golden Eagles throw it right back away, back-to-back turnovers against Marquette.
Miller usually sound value in the basketball, a little over 2 turnovers. And
there's the guy we're talking about, Aaron Hutchins. Look at that. Those are some serious numbers. Averaging almost 18 in the NIT.
You know, going back in high school, he was the MVP in the at a 5-star camp, which is like the Grant Hills of the world receive those honors. Marquette 6 fast breaks, 0 points. That'll get you in trouble.
If you can't hit in close, you're not going to hit from far away generally. They got a couple guys on the court that can light it up if they get it working though. Smith wheels inside. That's a strong move, and he's got a chance for a 3-point play.
He does take up some area. Carve it out, big fella. They just have not had the ability, because of Marquette's stingy defense, to cut once the ball goes in the post. And you can see on the power move to the goal, Crawford comes over to assist as Abraham beaten with the drop step. He does have some power, huh? Don't bring him to a cafeteria. Lights out. You notice he blessed himself now. This could give the church a bad name, you know.
If he misses the free throw, you mean.
Exactly.
That cuts it down to a 2-point ball game.
We had guys try everything.
9-10 left first half. Try to work Hutchins around some picks, but Watlington staying with him. Here's Hutchins on the dish, and a foul in the paint on Watlington.
It's so hard to stop the little guys, the Muggsy Bogues of the world. Dana Barros, another guy that's having a wonderful year, because they've got the quick feet. And it's almost like a running back, and you do a lot of football. They hit that hole so fast, you can't pinch on them.
Ask Tyus Edney, huh? Nobody pinched on him so far all the way through the NCAA.
Hey, don't pinch him till it's all over, huh?
That's right. Miller trying to give it back to McCaskill, and another nasty turnover in the lane. And Marquette gets it right back, though. Sean Good lost the handle. Ahead, Hutchins on the fly.
Great look that time by Miller. Right on the money, very catchable. They have low 5s, even though their hands are way up.
One's 5'11", one's 5'9". 8.5 left first half. Brad Nessler, Bill Raftery with you. The NIT championship from Madison Square Garden, where it was Michael Jordan's show last night with 55 in this building. Down low, Sean Good all alone.
Just a simple cut, just a brush screen. One of the only faulty trip, I think, defensively by Marquette. Yeah, Michael had some coming out party in New York, didn't he?
Did he ever? Stripped by Good. See if Sean can get to the hoop before Hutchins catches him. Not quite.
He was not going to give him much enjoyment off Broadway, was he? Now that time they handled the penetration as Sean gets a little piece helping out as David Jackson's guy goes by. And right here he looked at his right and forgot the speed of Hutchins.
Aaron says, I did it. His first. And Sean Good out of Columbus, Indiana, steps up. 4 points on the night with a couple of rebounds. And you saw his numbers from the Canisius game. 15. He had 15 against New Mexico State. 21 against Providence. Only had 1 point against Clemson in the NIT first-round matchup.
And Virginia Tech with a great history. John Wetzel, an assistant with the New Jersey Nets, a great performer there. Of course, you mentioned Alan Bristow.
Well, Virginia Tech loses the handle again, and then Jackson, trying to get back, picks up a foul.
And getting back to them, 7th NIT, 1 in 73. And what a schedule this year. I think it toughened them up for the end of the year.
And they're back within a point now with 7:51 left first half. The Golden Eagles huddled around their coach, Mike Deane. They lead by 1, 12-11 our score, a low-scoring contest here in the NIT championship with 7:51 left in the first half. I'm sure a lot of you know the story about Hoop Dreams and Will Gates, the sensational high school player who has gone on and is a Marquette Golden Eagle now, and he had a kind of a different week, as a matter of fact. Had to hustle back to Milwaukee for a very special occasion. His wife gave birth to their second child this week, and he made it back in time for the ball game. We asked him if he was ready.
Adrenaline, basically. I mean, I'm hyped. I mean, the whole ride, I couldn't even sleep on the plane, and I told myself that I was going to try to sleep, but I couldn't sleep at all.
Gas tank's full if he gets a chance to get in there. He's one of Marquette's reserves. And William Jr., born yesterday morning at 7:30. We congratulate William and his wife, Catherine, and that joins 5-year-old Alicia. It's final college game, and anybody that saw the documentary film Hoop Dreams knows that Will was one of the co-stars, I guess, if you will, of that. And his hoop dream would be for Marquette, of course, to win an NIT title. And then it's down to, he's going to have some diaper dandies, as Vitale would say, I guess. He's got some work to do when he gets home.
These are diaper dandies that are expensive, though.
You know it.
One thing about Gates, and I met him earlier in the year, his alternate dream's not too bad either. Going to get his degree, terrific family, just from hard work. Oh, a little reverse. That a big fella. Amal took one in the face as well.
Trying to clear the tears right now after his first basket of the ball game, as we've seesawed the lead back and forth, and Marquette by 1 again, 14-13. Jackson was open underneath. They didn't get it to him.
You can notice Marquette paying attention to the deep shooter. Hand in the face of the perimeter guys.
Custis, nice cut to the basket, and he drew the foul.
You mentioned Bill Foster and his experience and how well he's done in his career. He took Custis out, put him back in, got him to the box, and then the dump down and a good, strong power move to the goal.
Travis Jackson will have a seat on the floor. Sean Smith, David Jackson, Sean Good, Damon Watlington, and the man at the line, Adrian Ace Custis.
And that was a shot of Bob Hussey talking to Travis, and he's got a little background too. Belmont Abbey, Nick
Davidson.
And how about the lineage of Belmont Abbey? Al McGuire worked for Navinas down there. That's all he spends now. But I know he's home watching the Marquette program. When I was in town, he went over to watch the shoot-around. Very proud of what's happened under Kevin O'Neill and Mike Deane as well. And not easy to replace that guy. They still remember Big Al.
Back in 1970, brought his team up here as he shunned the NCAA, turned them down, wasn't too crazy about moving out of Dayton in that regional. They wanted him to go down to Texas, and he said, nah, I think we'll go to New York instead. Came up here, won it all.
They changed the rule after that. You go. And Al took care of business in what, 77?
Yep, 70. Yeah, 77 for the big one, 70 for this one. And this was a big one for them. They were 26-3 that year that they won the NIT title. That's pretty strong. Smith with a board. We're tied at 14. Custis wide open.
And that's his shot. Good penetration and the kick.
Here comes Hutchins. Lobs ahead to Crawford. And Crawford didn't have enough room to work and bodied Sean Good to the floor. And second foul on Crawford.
I'm sorry, Brad. Hutchins shouldn't have given the ball up. Caused the problem for Crawford.
College basketball slam dunk and three-point championship coming up Friday and Sunday. Part 1 on Friday, and then the conclusion on Sunday. Some great players in both the three-point contest and the slam dunk action. Plus, you'll see the women's three-point shootout. Dick Vitale and I will be in Seattle to call it for you. I know you're heading out tomorrow, so am I.
Looking forward to it. But first, some business right here. See if we can heat these two up, huh?
Right. 5:40 left in this half. It's not high scoring, but it's dead even at 14.
And they're throwing some bodies at Custis as well. Joseph in there now, giving him a lot of looks.
Custis squares from 15. Ace is off the mark tonight.
Ace has got to get down in the hole, I think.
I think so. There's Joseph on a little hook.
He's got to relax, I think. Get in there at halftime, get some composure. Too good. He's had some good looks as well.
Nice job on the boards, but no points for Ace Custis yet. Marquette showed us the other night, when they get hot, look out, as they were 15 of 22 from three-point range. Scary.
And fortunately, they keep the opponent down. We had the graphic up 38% from field goal for field goal defense. And that's been their saving grace. Able to stop people as they struggle. Maybe put Ellis in there might help them. What do you think? Put Bo?
Bo Ellis, assistant coach, right next to Mike Deane on the Marquette bench. Marquette by 2. Hokies can tie it if they score.
A little confusion as to what defense they're in right now. Some are in zone. How they get organized.
Smith wants it. See if he can back in. Double teamed. He goes strong anyway.
He does have some power. And that time they had a little cut as well. They haven't been complimenting the post pass with good action off the ball.
Tied again at the 4:25 mark. Deeper around a pick, kind of a flying one-hander, and it was too strong off the glass, and Custers pulls down his 5th rebound. Smith, straight up, air ball. Watlington pulled it off the backside, then had it stripped by Miller. And then Marquette trying to run, and Pieper lost it. He's sitting here in front of us smiling. Well, we're all tied at 16. We've got 3:57 left in the first half. Bill Raftery with you, Madison Square Garden. Just under 4 minutes left. Tied game here in the first half of the NIT championship. The road to get here for the Golden Eagles of Marquette. They defeated Auburn in their opener, then over St. Bonaventure. South Florida took overtime for that one. Then they got down 16 in the first half to Penn State and came back to win 87-79. And Tony Miller, 36 assists throughout the tourney. And there's their first-year coach who was here in the Final Four last year of the NIT. He was here with Siena. And Mike's done a fine job. 21-11 coming into this one.
And he hit the seam with their 89 NCAA play to get the first real good look for Watlington, who can stroke him as we've seen.
Yep, Damon had 4 threes, as Raf said the other night. That's his first one of this night. Virginia Tech matches its biggest advantage, as a matter of fact. They're up 3.
And finishing that thought on Mike Deane, they were the 14th seed in '89. They beat Stanford at number 3, and that kind of shooting will get him a ring here.
Tony says, I'm going to tie it up again at 19. Miller's got 2 threes on the night. 176 in his 4-year career. That's included going to every game, as we said earlier. Jackson.
When you have to have jump guys on that jump shot down in the box, it's very difficult release.
Hutchins for the lead.
Lighten up a little bit now.
Now it's warming up.
Oh, they took the ice out.
Took out the soft drinks and brought in the coffee. It's warming up in the Garden. 22-21, 2:48 left first half. Jackson, he can hit that. That's the kind of shot he hit to beat New Mexico State with a couple seconds left to get him to New York. Keeper on the run, got the roll.
What a touch in traffic.
Let's go. 24-21 Marquette. We approach 2 minutes. Sean Smith squares up McCaskill. Nice defense. Watlington, high dribble, almost lost the handle.
And you can see they're really taking away the cutter, the penetration.
Good, tried to get it to Smith and threw it away.
Pieper's known for his shooting, but a tough assignment playing these guards. And right here, their ability, Virginia Tech, and looking at earlier games, to get in right into that painted area and find somebody. You can just see the force of the pass because of the good D.
And a push inside as Smith came up with a steal, but there was a reason.
I think Travis Jackson held on a little bit.
There's a turnover story. Marquette. Mike Deane won't like that when he thinks about it in the locker room, and he won't have to look at a stat to know they've turned it over too many times.
I think they average around 15 a game, so they've had their problems.
Amar McCaskill out of Maywood, Illinois. And Travis Jackson the rebound. Jackson had a career high in rebounds the other night in the semifinal win. Had 10 against Canisius. Virginia Tech can cut it down to 1. A 3-pointer would tie us again. We got a minute and a half left first half. David Jackson on a flyer. Too strong off the glass. Trying to keep it alive, but Hutchins pulls it down. A little bit short for Hutchins, and Sean Smith strong off the glass.
And Mike Deane just asked him to slow it down. He did for that 25-footer.
Sean Good has a look at the game clock and the shot clock. Game clock in the corner, obviously, and we're under a minute. Watlington thought about a 3.
Oh, what defense.
And the spin for that shot. Sean Smith trying to go back up, and Pieper swiped it from him. Efer goes up right away and threw an air ball up. Mike Deane on the bench has got to be saying, you got to be kidding me.
Well, they've had 2 quickies, and it's hurt them.
We're 34 seconds away from halftime. And Robin will be along at halftime with news from Seattle. New coach at Georgia. Tubby is going to Athens.
Big move from Tulsa. Now he's got to compete against his old buddy.
That's right.
And others.
And others. We welcome him to the Peach State. Shot clock off. The game clock in the corner. And let's see if the Hokies can cut into Marquette's 3-point lead before the break. Nice entry pass, but knocked away from Jackson by Crawford.
Oh, they don't need that. Bring it back out. Oh,
that's one of those coach things. Take it.
I give him a free rein. Knock it down.
Marquette's biggest lead. Hokies try to answer before halftime. Better hustle with a shot. Watlington misses off the baseline. And the Golden Eagles of Marquette, who were down early. Their coach is still not too excited. Right there, he's excited. He looks a little bit mad, as a matter of fact, but his team has the lead at intermission. Marquette 27, Virginia Tech 21, as we head back to the studio and Robin Roberts. Robin.
All right, Brett.
Halftime at Madison Square Garden. National Invitation Tournament 58th annual. The Golden Eagles of Marquette lead the Hokies of Virginia Tech by 6, 27-21. Low scoring game here in the championship round. Brad Nessler, Bill Raftery back with you at Madison Square Garden. And Raff, you know, we talked before the ball game about Ace Custis for Virginia Tech. He was a key. He's doing a nice job on the boards tonight, but he's a guy that's had double figures in points and rebounds in every NIT game up to this point. And you got to credit Marquette's defense, I guess, because they've totally shut him down.
It's been a great job defensively, but look at the minutes. I mean, he's taken out simply because the 2 fouls enter into play. But even when he got back in, they tried to get him into the flow, establish his game. He moved in and then back out. He short-armed a couple of shots, which is unusual for him. And I think halftime was more of a relaxing discussion with Bill Foster, because this is his kind of shot right here. I mean, that's normally one that's got maybe of a rattler effect. And then when they got it down on the box, he did make this a chance he got to get to the free throw line. Good defensive reaction as they foul, and he goes strong. They need a little more of him if they're going to do some damage. But defensively, Marquette continues to haunt with the scraping. And
you got to love the shots where the coaches and ex-coaches say, don't take that shot. We'll take it.
Would you listen to me? Good.
Tony Miller, 9 points, all on 3-pointers. But you see, Marquette, their defense has done this to everybody all year long. We said second in the nation in field goal defense, and Virginia Tech only shooting 28% from the floor. And Marquette's got 5 triples out there, too, and the rebounding edge, so everything is going their way right now.
And you mentioned to me, Miller, 3 of those 4 from deep, and that'll help Mike Deane relax a little bit and stay calm on the pines.
So Marquette, 25 years after their last NIT championship, just 20 minutes away from capturing another one here in '95. And that gentleman in the sweater and cap is none other than Faisal Abraham's father, Ralph, who played on the St. John's team that lost to Marquette in '70. And it wasn't because Ralph didn't have a good game. He had 10 rebounds, but he and Louis Carnesecca lost to Al McGuire and company back in '70. It's nice to see the second generation players, and his son is played extremely well this year for the Golden Eagles of Marquette. There's Louie.
Louie and Mary. And I think she'd like him back in coaching.
I heard you ask her that. Now that you got him around, what do you think? And she said something like, I wish he'd leave. And he will, to coach the NIT team in the summer. Last year, I guess it was South America that they headed, and he loved that. So just being around the kids. So
loves the game.
Here we go. Final half for these two clubs on the 95 season, trying to win an NIT title. Lob, McCaskill a little too deep. Keeper had it blocked by Jackson. It goes right back to him. Eford sets and rattles out a three. McCaskill, boy, they're going to try it until they get it right, but they don't get it right. Credit the Hokies for hanging in.
They had a nice set there, and as you mentioned, Virginia Tech up to the task defensively.
They turn it over on their first offensive possession. Bonnie Eford pulls up from 14 and buries it.
That certainly helps coming out of the gate, running two pretty good sets. The second one, the beneficiary of some pretty good scraping again defensively. They had 10, and Virginia Tech had 7 turnovers in the first half.
Right. Our biggest lead of the night. 29-21 is where it stands 1 minute into the second half. Smith wants to wheel and has to put up a prayer, and it's answered. I don't think Sean practices that one. It ends a 10-0 run, though, as Marquette ended the first half with 8 straight points and had the first bucket here in the second half.
A nice staggered double to give Pieper a look. Nice kickback.
Oh, right to Watlington. And then to Good, and Sean's going to have to pull up because he's outnumbered. He'll reset it on top. His team down 6.
I think you got to give Custis a couple of touches, and they do right here. Nice little Faisal Abraham with the hand hedge.
Abraham in some foul trouble already, and now he's in more foul trouble. 4.
And Brad, out of the gate, a nice design play as we see Amal with the ability here. Nice back screen by Pieper. And it doesn't work because the pass is a little tardy. But look at the hustle here as Pieper's able to get it the first time and then pursue it again.
They had about 4 cracks at it and didn't score on that particular possession. Watlington, Good, Travis Jackson, Sean Smith, and Ace Custis on the floor for the Hokies from Blacksburg. Down by 6.
And they had their Atlantic 10 jerseys on before the game. They are ready. Nice swipe again by Miller.
Miller with a steal. Tech with its 9th turnover. Miller backs out, takes one of his own. Got it. 11 for the little guy playing his final game for Marquette. Let's see if Custis can get in the offensive flow. So far, not this half either.
They are patient, and see, he's clearing out. It's not coming to him as easily as it has other nights.
8 on the shot clock. He's going to work against Eford. And had it blocked by Eford. Now they're going to have to push one up there even if they get control, but they don't. Crawford gets it. Miller for 3. Right in the right place at the right time is McCaskill.
Look what I got! Oh, that three-point line, huh? Everybody runs to the goal to defend. If you can knock him down, but also rebounding, a big factor on that pull-up.
10-point cushion for Marquette.
This is where they can do some damage, but they just can't get cutters to get free.
There's one on the other end that'll help the cause. McCaskill picks up the foul, and Sean Smith has 10 points, and he's going to try for 11.
And they say he lost those 29 pounds. Goodness.
How did he do it?
I don't know. He's solid. And I was reading that note where Deane Smith referred to him as a poor man's Adrian Dantley.
That's not bad.
No, it's high praise. AD. Boot him up. Utah, Detroit, you name it.
So Sean leading the Hokies in scoring, and that three-point play closes the gap to 7.
This is where they need some effort. A little stagger again for Pieper.
Way side. Tony Miller will have a look.
Playing such a good schedule is very helpful in these kind of dire straits. You're struggling, you're not playing your best.
Tough turnaround for Crawford. And last touch, Tim Higgins says, by Sean Smith. Out of bounds to Marquette. David Jackson will come in and Travis Jackson will sit. And next year they'll have 3 Jacksons out there because David's twin brother, Jim, medical redshirt this year, so it'll be Jackson and Jackson and Jackson. They'll have their own law firm next year in Blacksburg. There's Miller throwing it away as Pieper went one way, the pass went the other, but Watlington comes right back and gives it back to Marquette. Not a good behind the back move that time.
Oh, while you had the Jacksons on tour, a little excitement took place, and Miller with a wonderful move after the turnover at the other end. And now the other night, we did not see Damon Watley do anything like this. I mean, this is something that is unusual in the 2 games and plus the Providence game, New Mexico State game that I viewed. Here the counter, great crossover move, leaves the lingerie lingering and does not get the goal, but a pretty dribble move.
I think these kids maybe shouldn't have come to the Bulls-Knicks game last night. They're trying some things that only the Bulls and the Knicks can do.
Only one Bull could do.
And there was no bull about it last night. Miller missed them both. Eford trying to keep it alive with Costas. The battle will go to Marquette as far as the possession of the basketball, and possession of the lead is also there. 33-26 with just under 16 to go. Follows pattern of what the NIT has had. We might have a buzzer beater. That's Travis Jackson with a 3 with 2 seconds to go to get Virginia Tech here. Penn State came from way back 20 down to Miami to win at home, and then they had to take on Iowa in front of 15,000. Pete Lasicki buried that one to get them to the NIT's Final Four. And Marquette has some of its own heroes like Tony Miller. And that was in the overtime win over South Florida. Here Marquette with a lead by 7, just under 16 minutes left. With Bill Raftery, Brad Nessler with you from Madison Square Garden. Low scoring and tremendous defense by Marquette has been the story so far tonight.
Well, you got to think Jack Powers has something going, the executive director. Best year off campus or on campus before they got to the Garden ever, financially, and competition at such a high level.
Some of those crowds storming courts on home basketball floors is always fun to watch in postseason play.
You mentioned the good defense. They have really stayed at home on the outside shooters, yet playing Custis extremely well. No doubling down here.
Sean Smith's been the guy for Virginia Tech that they've had to go to. They go to him again, and he draws a foul. And it's going to be on McCaskill.
It's almost like Mike Deane said, I'm going to let Smith beat me, not Custis.
Yeah, right.
So they're just staying away, letting Amal McCaskill try and tee it up alone down there. Nobody scraping, nobody doubling.
Sean Smith, 11 points to go with his 5 rebounds. Make it a dozen.
Another one of those Fort Union Military Academy guys you see all over the country. Fletcher Arrett, pretty successful.
Sean says, don't forget my folks back in Gastonia, North Carolina, where he hails from, and he is helping the Hokies stay in this game with 12 points and 5 rebounds. Actually 13 points now with both free throws going down. 5-point ball game with just over 15 to go.
Marquette pretty crisp with their bumps, and good reaction this trip by Tech.
Pieper hasn't had a chance to get off tonight either much.
No, Watlington staying at home. And Damon pretty quick puppies as well.
Miller swatted down by Sean Smith with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Nice defense. His 32nd block of the year.
This is a chance to get one bounce and the delivery. And you see Miller, maybe the little pass to the corner. You had Crawford. But this is one catch, turn.
Eford, and Smith blocked another one. And the shot clock goes off. And Sean Smith with 2 great defensive plays, blocked 2 shots, a couple of Lancito jobs. No motion denied.
I know what you do all day long. Get yourself a house guest or a limo driver.
That's right. So this is the guy that's carrying the Hokies right now on his very broad shoulders, Sean Smith.
He has been terrific, both ends of the floor.
Hokies can make it a 3-point game. Sean's going to try to be the man, but he had one whacked away by McCaskill. Watlington on the drive.
One of the few times he's been able to get in to the 3-second area.
Now we got a game, 33-30. Marquette.
Well, you don't play Carolina, Louisville, Southern Mississippi, Texas Christian, those clubs without learning something.
The only non-conference losses suffered by the Hokies this year to Carolina, North Carolina that is, Virginia and Illinois, and they were all on the road. Here they are on the road, the Big Apple. Bill Foster says, I think only 2 of my kids have ever been to New York City. McCaskill underneath, nice move.
Sure was. You know, off air you said to me they might be tired. That's a problem, and also walking around the city, all of a sudden you've got miles logged.
Big time miles.
Amongst other things. Good play.
McCaskill, nice defense. With a 5-point lead. Pieper didn't pull up. Crawford will. Rattled out on him. McCaskill. Once he got about 14 rebounds when he goes down hard. And they just got tangled up. It was not intentional on Sean Smith's part, but they both hit the deck pretty hard.
Do you remember what Bo Ellis said to both of us before the game? I got to get my big guy going. Right. And Amal has stepped up magnificently. This is that little move that got the foul. The one earlier got the goal, and hopefully he'll be up. He's got a little tape problem on his left leg. Now that's an ankle. That's
an ankle, but the trainer likes to go high, I guess, with the tape. The thing's all the way to the knee. 14 rebounds for this kid.
Well, it's a safety deal. You know, they cover shin splints, tendonitis.
Might as well go all the way up to the thigh, you know, just in case, cover the knee. Joseph comes in, and Crawford will sit for Marquette. First free throw that Marquette has made, 1 for 6 on the night. McCaskill got them both. We see Richard Shaw for the first time tonight, the freshman out of Ontario, Canada. And McCaskill will get a well-deserved rest with those 14 rebounds as he goes to the bench. Like Deane said, we can't shoot free throws, we're the darn, but for some reason when we play, every game we play, the opponents shoot worse from the line, so that always helps.
That's nice to count on.
Custis, let's see what he does against Shaw. Shaw has to kick it back out to Smith. Rebound, Tony Miller on the run. Wide open Hutchins. Never met a shot he didn't like. And the rebound to Shaw.
How about this kid? Huh? Only gets 3 minutes a game.
Foul before the shot on Jackson, David Jackson. And Shaw says, I'm involved now.
Well, he sure is. Defensively, ends up with a terrific low post performer, contains him, and now on the shot, look at the reverse drop step and hold him off. And that sets up a push the other way, and down at this end, Shaw strong and gets the save, the kick out, and then the small change foul.
Shaw stays in there with Joseph. That's a different twin tower match, if you will, for Marquette that we haven't seen so far, at least not in the semifinal the other night. We're down to 12:40. Marquette leading by 7. They led 27-21 at halftime. Aaron Hutchins trying to take Watlington to the hoop. His fadeaway will go.
The ball, he got a little break with the touch, had a little deli roll, but terrific speed, and then the drop step.
Guillory in for the first time tonight for Virginia Tech, playing in the backcourt with Watlington. Watlington squares for a 3 and delivers.
Got to stay up, force him to put it on the floor. They got good help off the basketball on Hutchins.
Damon is the guy that can definitely shoot Virginia Tech right back in this thing at the 12-minute mark. Jackson, not Pieper.
Guillory, the only guy that gets some more time other than Jackson, huh?
Right. Hutchins for 3. Got it. Aaron Hutchins, double figures again for the little guy. He's been killing everybody.
And he's so confident, too.
Marquette, after a 15 Three-point performance the other night. 15 triples. They have 6 tonight. Guillory way short. Smith there to try to clean up. Sean will try it again.
And Shaw didn't get up that second time.
15 for the big fella. Now Tony Miller says, let's calm things down. We're up by 7.
Pretty good poise, too. He was prying and brought it back out. All these baseline bumps have not gotten Pieper a pop.
Not at all. He had 7 in the first half.
Big Joseph on the screen down.
Foul line, Joseph. With 10 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the ball game. Little Aaron Hutchins, as he's done throughout the NIT, starting to be the spark plug for the Golden Eagles of Marquette. Got the roll there, and then says, I think I'll add 3 more. By 7 with 10:45 left in this NIT championship game. You look at the teams over the last 5 years that have won the NIT. Villanova last year, Minnesota, Virginia, Stanford, and Vandy over the past 5 years. And all those teams have used this as a springboard, Raft, really, for the following seasons. And they've all upped their programs. And I think that's what Marquette and Virginia Tech are thinking with 10 minutes 45 left in this one.
And they all go to the NCAA after a successful run. And both these teams hoping, as Mike Deane's guys defensively have been extraordinary, but I've got to think Ace Custis has to step up a little. Nice little record going for Coach Deane. Helped out under Judd Heathcote for those 4 years.
Judd was here the other night as a guest of the NIT. It was fun to have him around. Watlington trying to shake him free a little bit. Here's Custis. Short again.
Committee.
Guillory kept it alive, though, and Custis won't miss the second one.
Nice little delivery.
Down to 5. Midway point of the second half.
Choice of size. There's that alley-oop.
Crawford, nice catch in reverse.
Well,
it's tough.
That's my kind of alley-oop, though. Just release it. It counts. They ran that play to open the half to McCaskill, this time to Crawford.
Boy, Crawford had to make a nice adjustment in midair. Here's Custis. Well, he had a nice move to get there, but he didn't deliver. Tony Miller now in the open court. Going 1-on-2, leaves it for McCaskill.
Pretty good non-call, huh?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Frank Scagliato right on top of it, and he left it alone. Don't leave that one alone. It'll be a foul on Crawford down on the baseline.
Pretty good group of officials out here as well.
You got it.
And this is that little play they open the half with, a little back screen, and Crawford, it's a little low. What an adjustment, as you noted.
His head went right under the base of the basket, and he somehow got a long arm out there and put a little English on that thing to have it go in.
That's why they put that sponge up there for guys like you.
All right. 9.5 to play. A 7-point Marquette lead. The Hokies looking to warm it up a little bit, or time's going to run out on their season, which has already produced more wins than any other team in school history.
And Bill Foster trying to get Custis a little more relaxed, takes him out.
Good. Missed badly. Tony Miller, boy, he is lightning fast.
You know, his judgments are much better this half.
Hutchins. 3 rattled out, and McCaskill over the top. Picks up his 3rd foul of this half. Don't forget, coming up next, it'll be baseball tonight with Chris Berman. And after Boomer at Sports Center at 11. Then at midnight, March Madness, the finals. John Saunders talking Final Four with Rick Majerus, Calvin Sampson, and Richard Williams. So that's all following our matchup here from Madison Square Garden.
And with that Southeastern Conference so tough, people forgot the job Richard did, huh? I'm sure you had them a few times, Mississippi State. You're a fine-looking prospect.
Smith, McCaskill got a piece of it. Good goes back up. Chance for a 3-point play for Sean Good. They needed that one, and the junior delivered.
You know what's nice about this Virginia Tech basketball team? They play a finesse style, free-wheeling, very loose, but now they've got to make it ratty. They've started to step up physically, assert themselves on the glass a little bit, come up with plays like this to get back in it.
They never seem to lose their composure. They by no means play emotionless basketball, but they keep their head about them, and that's a reflection of their coach, who's looking on as his team's down 4. Right back in the thick of things, the Hokies.
And good all over Pieper is starting to chat a little bit. Composure essential.
Miller around a pick for 3.
He does make some big shots.
I said to him before the game, Tony, last game, and he had a big smile as if to say, I'm going to show up, and he has. 14 for Tony Miller.
Bad gamble, huh? Playing good D, and Crawford. Crisp attempt. That's the way baseball players are. They can't relax. They need a Rosenbach to slow them down.
Crawford, drafted and signed by the Astros. I'd like to have a 6'8" guy playing baseball. They got another one. Shaw, who was in there earlier, was drafted by the Dodgers as a pitcher. I would want a guy 6'11" throwing a baseball about 100 miles an hour by my year.
Gene Conley comes to mind years ago. You're too young to remember that. Played with the Celtics, the Knicks.
I try to be too young
Sox
to remember anything you remember. Jackson.
You're far better off.
And it's been McCaskill's night on the boards, that's for sure.
Didn't need that one. What did I say about good judgments this half? If I were coaching, I'd be saying, Anthony, pull it out.
They do on top of Smith. Watlington still trying to warm up. He'll try inside, and he's fouled by McCaskill, who has 4 now.
Good reaction, though. And look, Mike, for illustrative purposes, letting the official know the difference. I just love the reaction. Even though they get him for number 4, yeah, you can see the little bang, even the pulling of the shirt.
He had him twice.
If you don't get him with one hand, huh? Swipe it with the other.
He says, I thought I had all ball. Damon Watlington, a 76% free throw shooter. Every time you say that about a kid, that's what happens. 8 points on the night for him. And you see Marquette already with 10 team fouls, so that's 2 free throws the rest of the way for the Hokies of Virginia Tech, and they might need all of those. They trail by a half dozen with 7:32 to play from Madison Square Garden.
I just mentioned how they're doing better things offensively. This is Pieper who gets the little down screen by McCaskill. And he may not have cleared quick enough. We'll explain that in a second. But look at the little bump and great look by a opportune shooter. And right here, assuming some leadership, saying, hey, when we run that pick, get out of the way. That's my play.
That is a great picture there. Showing the leadership going back the other way and showing the way for Marquette as their leading scorer right now with 14 is Tony Miller. Mike Deane here last year with a different club. Can he pull out a championship in his first year? Second in Marquette history to start every game 4 straight years. Bo Ellis, assistant coach on the bench, was the other guy to do it. In the early to mid-70s, Bo was a tremendous player. I guess I should say mid-70s. 6-point Marquette lead, 7:20 left in the ballgame.
And Joseph in to save McCaskill with the 4 fouls. And Good has been all over Pieper.
And on the shot clock, Hutchins will back it up.
Brad Custis was good to cover that time. Maybe he's awakened.
Hutchins had it stripped away. They're not going to get a shot off anyway. They come up with a steal. Guillory on the drive. Nice drive it is by Myron. Big hoop there. Cuts it back to 4.
I'm just looking at Mike Deane. He didn't waste any time. McCaskill and Crawford right away. And look at the cover by Guillory.
Virginia Tech now picking up their defense. Cross-court pass, dangerous as it is. They backed off of Eford and shouldn't have.
Oh. That's using all the floor.
Ronnie Eford, huge 3-pointer, puts Marquette back a little more comfortably in front by 7.
And Eford not bad from 3 either, around 37%.
Sean Smith went strong, found his own rebound somehow, and put it back in.
That's a great picture. He knocked one way to get an offensive rebound is knock everybody down. The bowling alley's downstairs.
There were pins dropping like crazy. He left kind of a funny split, as a matter of fact.
7-10.
Delivered the spare, though. 50-45. Joseph wheels and comes up short. Smith another rebound.
And I'm not so sure Mike Deane wanted Hutchins to throw the ball to Joseph.
Sean Smith having a big night. 9 rebounds to go with his 17 points. If Virginia Tech comes back and win, you have to start thinking about this guy as their MVP. Leaning in again. Drew the foul. Boy, he's played hard, and you can see all the Hokies breathing hard too, because they don't have a lot of people to go to give them a breather.
And one of the problems for them, Custis is being played by Ronnie Eford, who's been terrific. You may have seen them entangled as Smith went to the goal. But you're right, he's been solid. They've taken away their main option down there, and he has stepped up magnificently.
Sean Smith trying to get some breath in those lungs. And he is trying to breathe life into this Hokie team. His free throws can make it a 3-point game. There's his numbers. Impressive. 18 and 9 now. There's the field goal shooting. And that's not bad considering how these two teams play defense, actually. Got him. 19 for Sean Smith. And Travis Jackson back in. Sean's going to get a well-deserved rest because they're going to need him in the stretch. We've got 5 to go. We've got a 3-point game. What else would it be? Here's the way the NIT has gone so far. And right down to the wire in the last 5 minutes for these two clubs this year. At least the last 5 minutes of regulation. Inside. Strong move for McCaskill.
Oh, and a strong move by Mike Deane, putting him in there and getting him the ball in deep. And that was a great hand hedge by Jackson outside. But Mike Deane, well, you put him in, he's got 4. You might as well use him. And a nice drop step as he read the double down. And the kiss rather favorable. Amal up to the task.
Jackson with a foul, and now Amal will step up. A strong double-double for him tonight. That was his 10th point. He can make it 11 to go with his 15 rebound. 3-point play. A big one for McCaskill.
And they go with the full court pressure. Did a little in the first half.
Guillory will try to clear him out. Now Custis will break the timeline. Right back to him. Nice give and go.
And the gamble of the press. You open it up a little bit, and that was a terrific big-time move by the ace.
He's had a quiet night on offense, only 5 points, but the jam makes it a 4-point game again. Crawford got free. He'll use the glass, but he got not enough of it. Hokies can get it to 2.
Crawford back on Custis. Eford out on good.
Entry pass. Custis fouled from behind as he tried to find a handle, and it's Crawford. And I think that's it for Crawford. A nice job off the bench, but that's where he's heading now.
It's so tempting when that ball comes in there.
To try to swat it away from behind.
Just get in position. A little 3-quarter.
5 personals and 2 points. Now he'll start thinking about baseball.
Well,
He'll
not
play
yet.
in the minor leagues, but he won't think about that for about 4 more minutes, I guess. Joseph will check in to take Crawford's spot in the Golden Eagles lineup.
One nice thing for Mike Deane is his rotation. He's had guys that have been in the first half contribute during the course of the tournament a little deeper. In this kind of a situation, that would favor him.
Season average, you see, 6th in the Metro, and a tough night for the ace. But what a player he's going to be. He finished just 4 votes shy of being named the Metro Player of the Year, an honor that went to Jarvis Lang of North Carolina Charlotte. Well deserved. He had a great career at North Carolina Charlotte. Ace got 2 big free throws, though. Lo and behold, the ace comes through, and the lead is cut down to 2 with just under 4 to play. This was a huge shot by Travis Jackson. Just under 2 seconds to go. He buries that 3 to beat New Mexico State. They swarmed the floor in Blacksburg. Was that the biggest shot ever? And for Virginia Tech and the NIT, doubtful. Bobby Stevens in overtime to beat Notre Dame. But how about this one? Remember this one? Les Henson. Watch this, baby. Against Florida State 15 years ago. Boom.
Ooh, the Henson heave. And how about the one against ND?
Yeah, that was huge.
Think that put the first gray hair in Richard's head?
It could have been.
So they are a team that has...
They think they're destined.
Yeah, the background. They are Destiny's team.
They've had to come from behind quite often in this NIT to get here. Marquette has had to do likewise, including their semifinal win over Penn State. So it's all come down to the last 3 minutes, 50 seconds in a 2-point ball game.
Virginia Tech has stepped up defensively a lot quicker, reading, hedging. Look at Custis. I haven't seen him work like this all half.
All of a sudden, like the light came on over Ace Custis' head. Maybe just when Virginia Tech needs him the most. Here he is trying to guard McCaskill, who's going to wheel and use the glass.
Woo, the kiss for the big fella.
13 for McCaskill to go with those rebounds. 15 on the night. Huge game for a huge young junior out of Maywood, Illinois.
He's got the size to get the shot off on Custis, but if he settles for the fadeaway, they could have some problems.
Watlington still might end up being a guy that Virginia Tech's going to have to lean on. Here's Custis, though, doubled. Guillory open for 3. Got it!
Oh, what a kick out by the ace.
And then it was won, 55-54. I don't know if the freshman out of Lake Charles, Louisiana ever took one that big in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Well, his brother's a high school coach down there. I'm sure they've discussed some big shots in their days.
He's trying to find Tony Miller on defense now, though. 2.5 to play, 55-54 Marquette, and 9 on the shot clock. Keeper having a look.
They're not getting much off the dribble. They got to settle out.
Miller's going to have to do it himself. Time running out. Gets it off at the buzzer, and the rebound, Sean Smith. Double figures in rebounds now for the big fella to go with his 19 points, and Tech can lead if they score.
And the Hokies defense awakened.
Trying to entry pass to Smith. He found the handle. Got his own board and drew a foul.
5, I believe.
5 it is. McCaskill will foul out, with Crawford already over there.
Amal may have gotten away with one before on that first release by Smith. Strength does come in handy. He pursued here. Look at his ability to turn away, and that's where I thought McCaskill may have hit him. And now he definitely gets him right here. But Sean, the little blow by Bill Foster, gave him a little spurt.
Amal dejected, obviously, to have to leave with 1:59 left. He had had a huge night to that point with 13 points and 16 rebounds. Timeout. Marquette with 1:59 remaining in the ball game. Virginia Tech trying to pull another of their patented comebacks. They trail by only 1. Madison Square Garden, less than 2 minutes left. Brad Nessler and Bill Raftery with you. The 58th NIT championship, and it is as tight as it can get. Marquette by 1. Rafted figures you and I'd go to the last 2 minutes of our last game together this year and have this kind of crazy ending, huh?
It's the way it's supposed to happen.
That's right.
Don't you think? And just emotionally, Bill Foster's guys have awakened, and it's been the defensive end that I noticed Custis first, more active, getting involved, and Mike Deane, that depth we alluded to, lessening with each foul out by his big people.
Virginia Tech 3 timeouts to Marquette's 2 left. Marquette, you see, already over the limit, and Virginia Tech has fouls to give. The possession arrow is with the Hokies, and the free throw line is their star of the night. Sean Smith, 19 and 11. Not a bad championship game, regardless of what the outcome of this game is. Make it 20 now.
Just kept plodding away, didn't he? Solid. And early when Custis was AWOL, they went to him.
Second one comes off, and Custis trying to battle for the rebound, but Eford pulls it down.
And that's the guy I think's got to do some things, Ronnie Eford, because they're containing the dribble, and Ronnie can get that medium range. Oh, Gilrery.
It's a foul call.
Fifth one.
And still a foul to give for the Hokies.
That's pretty good defense. Huh? Go that long in a game.
Tie game at 55. Same amount of points that Michael Jordan put up by himself last night against the Knicks.
It had to be the shoes.
Wasn't playing the speed limit, was he? Miller trying to look inside. He and Hutchins control it on top with 15 on the shot clock and under a minute and a half to go. Looking for a good shot. Tony Miller will take that one. Eford, tough board, and he's fouled. And probably a good foul, because that one would have been a gimme, and Sean Good was going to make sure he earned it.
You know, it was a nice play by Ronnie Eford. He was running some baseline rubs. When he saw the penetration, just snuck himself back a few feet, weak side, to come up with this rebound. And you're right, if he wasn't fouled, it would have been a good basket. But Eford's got that ability to make medium range, that little dribble shot. So maybe off of penetration they can find him. He's got to help. The big people are absent now with the foul problems.
Ronnie, number one scorer on this team, missed the second one. They struggled a little bit from the free throw line tonight, only 1 for 4. And Sean Smith, why not another rebound? Give him a dozen. Marquette by 1. 1:12 left. Remember about 8 minutes ago when I said such and such left in regulation? We got a minute left in regulation. Don't count out overtime.
And Eford all over Custis in there. He can't get a vision on the basketball.
8 on the shot clock. Sean Good drives the paint, has to go over Pieper, and he fouled him.
Ouch! Pieper and Mike Deane felt that was just extraordinary defense, and I sort of agree with them. Here's the use of the dribble and going straight up, and that's a play on. Oh.
Good 2 for 3 from the line. Had to rattle that one around a little bit. 11 for Sean. Another Fork Union Military Academy grad.
And you're a seer, I think. Now you're figuring on OT.
Now it's Virginia Tech by 1 with 50 seconds left. Here comes your ball game. And everybody in the garden on their feet. I like this. And I mean everybody's up.
Hop out, dribble drive. Hutchins or Miller?
Hutchins. Great drive, drew a foul.
Is he amazing? And he got the right delivery too, almost with a chance. If he went right, it's going to be blocked. But this insertion right here gives him some explosive use of the dribble.
Aaron had a career-high 20 points as this club beat Auburn, and now he's got a couple of free throws coming up after the timeout that maybe could give Marquette a title. We'll find out. 33.4 to go in a 1-point game. Years ago, he was the man. Deane Memminger, the MVP of the NIT in '70 as Marquette won the championship, and he's been standing the last 5 minutes, as I'm sure there's a little bit of churning going on in his stomach as he looks in on this young group of Mike Deane's and knows that another little guy, guard named Aaron Hutchins, is about to step up to the free throw line with a golden opportunity. Hutchins has been in double figures every game through the NIT. 20 in the first round game, then 12 against St. Bonaventure. Had 18 against South Florida, 18 the other night, or rather 20 the other night against Penn State. And here he comes, double figures again tonight, and a couple of huge free throws for the former Mr. Basketball out of Lima, Ohio.
And if Deane could dream, he'd make these two, and they have a good defensive stand. Hokies have to push.
Got the first one. And we're tied. at least momentarily at 57.
Tough little guy.
Some guys, you can just look in their eyes and know that they got it. And this is one of those kind of kids. Second one rattled out. Custis a rebound. Scrambled. Tony Miller
Stepped on the line.
stepped on the line. And Tony not only stepped on the line, stepped over the line and over everybody else here on the front row.
He is so fortunate not to get hurt. Makes a great swipe. And right here, the ref see the toe. He went down and fortunately broke his fall. That's metal on the backside.
You like to see writers get it, though.
Oh, hope they don't cover you.
Here we go. Tie game with a half minute. Shot clock is off. Virginia Tech can play for the win right here. Is it going to be reliving Bobby Stevens with his shot over Notre Dame? And if it is, who gets the call? Sean Smith's been the man all night long. He wants it down low. Guillory still waiting. Now he makes a move. He'll try it. And he came up short. Pieper with 3 to go. It counts and it goes. And it hit the iron and we're going to overtime.
Oh, goodness. Oh, you called it 3 minutes ago. Oh, Guillory, how about the boys? Excellent dribble opportunity. I thought Wallington might be the guy, but he couldn't get free.
We'll show you what happened in the final furious 15 seconds when we come back, because we've got at least 5 more to go. Overtime here at the Garden. We're looking in on the Hokies huddle right now. They had an opportunity to win, and moments ago it was Myron Guillory off the bench, a freshman out of Lake Charles, Louisiana, who was trying to be the man. And he missed, and then you come up and you hold your breath when Anthony Pieper gets it from midcourt. Counts if it goes. Just caught the front of the iron.
What a terrific finish. And Mike Deane, the frustration, and now the difficulty for him. He's not used to playing with short numbers, whereas Bill Foster is. They're very comfortable not having many decisions on the bench.
And the short numbers are courtesy of McCaskill and Crawford, who both fouled out in regulation.
And the Abraham has 4, which is a concern, and he's the guy that saved them, I think, going over on Guillory, taking away his vision on that shot.
Yep.
Pieper looked at the clock and very astute as he delivered that half-court attempt.
Here we go to overtime, tied at 57.
I think it's time for the ace. Shuffle a deck.
Ace didn't win the jump, though. And to Abraham. Right where we started almost 2 hours ago. Even. On the shot clock. Hutchins from 15.
Oh, what a pump. And what a pump fake.
So Marquette with the first bucket of overtime. By the way, remember the regular season game between these two teams finished 57-54 in regulation. So we had almost the identical finish they had at Bradley Center the first go-around this year. And now it's at the Garden, 4 in court to both. And Custis got mugged down low by Hutchins.
And Ronnie Eford, who was face guarding Custis, walked him up the lane for the nice dump down. Pretty basketball, and Hutchins very alert to assist.
So Ace Custis will step up to the free throw line. 7 points on the night. He's been playing since back in January with a stress fracture in his right foot and has a special orthotic in his shoe to try to ease the pain of that. I know he's not feeling it right now. All he's thinking about is trying to get these 2 free throws to drop.
And they've had to take it easy with practice for him, too, because of that problem.
More assistant coaches and managers practicing with Virginia Tech than any team in the country.
It's got to be a violation, huh?
That's right. 59-59.
Marquette not finding it easy to score right now because of the stepped-up defense. Hutchins, the guy's been able to do some things. People not getting good looks, Brad.
Now to 10 on the shot clock again. Hutchins, you can just kind of sense that he wants it in his hands.
Oh, goodness.
That's why. Good drive. Just didn't finish it off. And Custis with his 7th rebound.
He has some blow-by speed.
It would not shock me if Ace Custis ends up with a double-double again tonight, which he's had in every NIT game all the way through to this final. And he had a very, very slow first half. And now he's looking at 9 points and 7 boards.
And Ronnie Eford, very conscientious. Look at the spacing, trying to lead Custis to the box.
Smith, strong for Sean Smith. 22.
Well, that Smith hasn't been anonymous all night.
So Virginia Tech and Marquette have both led by a bucket in this overtime stanza without a 2:45 in OT. NIT championship on the line. Nice entry pass. And a foul as Abraham made a move across the lane.
And they just are looking for options, aren't they? I mean, if Abraham can present and get good position down underneath, they can get to the foul line over. It's all been perimeter play, a struggle for Marquette.
The swipe was on Damon Watlington, and he picks up his 4th foul. And they don't want him on the bench either before this one's over because he's an excellent shooter. Abraham, 58% free throw shooter. Ralph's looking on, his dad. And you know he's saying a prayer as he looks up at the scoreboard to see if his kid can knock in the 2nd free throw. Way short on that one. Eford, though, with a board. Miller for 3. In the battle for the rebound, it'll be out of bounds to Virginia Tech.
And Custis was the guy in the middle. Mike Deane's looking for an over to the top.
And here's Guillory, who took the shot right before the end of regulation. He'll slow it down and bring it up. Freshman meets freshman out on top. Thought about taking Hutchins to the hole and backs it back out to Watlington. 2:10 on the game clock, 13 on the shot clock. Watlington. It's going to have to be Sean Good, or so it appears. He's the man.
And you know who else was the man? Sean Smith with a great pick. Blocked 2 Marquette people.
Timeout Marquette. Mike Deane not happy that nobody made a switch on that pick down low on the baseline and letting his team know it. With 1:51 left in overtime, Virginia Tech leads by 4.
Well, you mentioned the loss of 29 pounds and still a formidable roadblock. He gets 2, count them, 2 Marquette people with 1 body. It opens it up for plenty. Good.
He's got some hop in his game, doesn't he? Sean Good, watch the legs on this kid as he goes to the hoop.
You can only keep these guards quiet for so long.
Coming up next, ESPN's baseball tonight with Chris Berman. Good news is, it looks like maybe we're going to have some baseball, huh? Followed by Sports Center at 11. Then at midnight, March Madness, the finals. John Saunders will talk Final Four action with Rick Majerus, Calvin Sampson, and Richard Williams. That's all coming up following our overtime rendition of the NIT 58th championship from Madison Square Garden. And the Hokies hope that they can wave the banner and wear the ring. We still got a long way to go. 1:51 left in overtime.
And Bob Humphrey right here along with Bill Foster. They've been together. And that's not necessarily together, but on that sideline for a lot of years combined. And Mike Deane very upset there wasn't a hedge, as you noted, on that dribble drive by Good.
Already the best season Virginia Tech has ever had as far as wins at 24-10 coming into this one. And it's the first time they've had a 21 season since the 85-86 club. It was Del Curry and company on that team, but Bill Foster in his 4th year. His clubs have been 4-3 in overtime since he arrived in Blacksburg, so they have been to OT a few times over the past 4 seasons. Here they are in overtime, the first NIT overtime since 1981. Tulsa with Paul Pressey beat Syracuse in that one. And of course, we mentioned the aforementioned Virginia Tech win in '73. Bobby Stevens beating Notre Dame in a high-scoring and exciting affair. Hutchins tried an entry pass, had it knocked away.
Got to get to the goal, though, I think. Do your driving, get it in Hutchins' hand or Miller open up some area and then get your feet set on the wing. If they don't have that little drive to the goal, kick it.
Marquette needing a hoop this trip. They're down 4. Hutchins got it.
Oh, magnificent.
63-61. We're under a minute and a half in overtime.
Here's where Custis goes box to box.
Eford doing a nice job, and Eford did a nice enough job to front him that Custis didn't see the entry pass, and it's a crucial Virginia Tech turnover.
Eford's been fronting him, face guarding, terrific defensive play.
Marquette can tie it. And we're down to a minute left in OT from Madison Square Garden. Brad Nessler, Bill Raftery with you. 58th NIT championship on the line. And we're already in our extra session. See if Marquette can draw even. Tony Miller rattles out, but he'll go to the free throw line to try to tie it up.
Oh, he searched out the body as well, Brad. Wasn't sure. Didn't get it up on the glass quite the way he would like to. The denial out far as Eford was forced deep on the floor. McCaskill suffering like a coach now. He can't do much.
Can't even look.
Watch him pray.
And Tony Miller's going to get time to talk about it as Bill Foster calls a timeout just when Miller was set to step to the line with 50.7 seconds left in overtime. Virginia Tech leading by 2. Don't go away. 0.7 left. You look in on Mike Deane's Marquette Golden Eagle huddle, and Marquette is not a stranger to overtime this year either, Bill Raftery.
Your man there is they're 2-1. You wouldn't mind having Deane out there running the show, huh? Deane, the Dream Eminger, one of Al's guys, and then later on with the Knickerbockers, but 2-1 in OT. You got to make free throws. Obviously, don't turn it over. Be solid. And they've gotten a little flow now with the dribble because of these two terrific guards, Miller and Hutchins. And on the other end, the ace has arrived, huh? No jokers.
No jokers. Somehow slid out of the deck finally when they needed him. Somebody said cut, and he hopped out. Miller to the line.
And Smith has been the dealer, the croupier all evening.
Tony is not a great free throw shooter. He's 0 for 3 tonight. He is a great player, but he's not a great free throw shooter. And now Marquette is 5 of 15 from the line tonight as a team. That's 33%, almost anybody's math class. He got the second, 15 for Tony, and it makes it a 1-point game.
Go with Zach McCall now, a little defense. They got to watch out for the home run. Everybody up, might bear the backcourt.
Remember, 2 big guys have already fouled out for Marquette in regulation. Hutchins got up chest to Smith. Smith tries a dangerous pass, and Pieper steals it.
Great play by Pieper to give it up before he fell to the floor and was called for a walk, and now Mike Deane gets the timeout.
Marquette timeout. 36.7 left in overtime. And Marquette trailing by 1 to Virginia Tech. There's 36.7 left on the game clock, 28 seconds on the shot clock. So we got plenty of time for each.
Well, up there in Albany, I guess they pay attention to the basketball. Right here, a tough pass, a lot of air under it. And before he came down and walked, the pass back to the point guard, Miller. Just a terrific play by Pieper, who's worked hard on offense, but he just can't get free because of the Virginia Tech defense.
Don't forget following us. It's baseball tonight. And then Sports Center and March Madness with John Saunders from Seattle. That follows us whenever we're done. We may not be done yet. We're in 1 OT. There has never been a double overtime NIT championship. Don't count it out tonight.
And you've got to think Marquette with the basketball. They have run their sets, but it's always ended up in the little guy's hands to create some offense. If there is a defender asleep like that little doll, you might see Pieper get a look.
That might be the only fan asleep in this place.
Well,
most everybody else is standing up.
That baby's peepers are certainly closed. And Mike Deane's got everybody's attention in his huddle. And then conversely, you've got to think that Bill Foster is talking about good, solid defense, forced him into a tough shot. And rebound, guys, get up on the glass.
Even if Marquette should score and hit a deuce, it still would be Virginia Tech's ball game to win if they get a possession. And a long way to go at 36.7 seconds. That's an eternity. Let's see how much of that eternity Tony Miller wastes way out on top. Hutchins. Miller was looking for a pick from Abraham and didn't get it. Now we're down to 14 on the shot clock. 21 on the game clock. Keeper found an avenue.
They fell asleep defensively.
Virginia Tech can play for the win, though. They trail by only one. 64-63. Marquette in overtime. Final 10 seconds from the Garden. Smith has a look at the shot clock. Driving on Abraham. Sean Smith puts it up. Foul underneath. With 0.7 seconds left.
They give it to Abraham. If they do, that is the limit for him as well. Well, it's appropriate the way Sean Smith has performed all night, Brad. Right here, he knew there wasn't much he could do. Look how patient he was, too, to get close enough to the goal. The pump fake gets Faisal Abraham airborne. And this is just a terrific play by Pieper as they didn't get out on him. Then they got their late Sean Good, and then the counter with the dribble move to the goal.
Sean Smith's a 67% free throw shooter tonight. He has done extremely well from the line. 8 of 10, 80% tonight for the big fella. First one could tie it. Got it.
Oh,
huge free throw.
Huge night. Huge guy. Huge performance.
Timeout, Marquette. They're going to let Sean Smith think about this last free throw here for a moment. .7 seconds left. Well, it comes down to a free throw for Virginia Tech, whether or not they wear the NIT crown, or if we go more than likely with only .7 left to the first double overtime in NIT final history. There's the guy, and you've got to wonder if anybody's even saying anything to him in that huddle.
MVP, they're saying.
He's got 23 points.
You get it if you make it. Oh, has he been solid defensively, on the glass, scoring?
You talk about having a double-double. I mean, what a huge game tonight.
And Brad, here's a look at the drive and his ability to pump fake. Gets everybody. Look at the airborne. And right there, you can just see the banging, made the shot go short.
You know, Abraham would have been better off just to let him have that. They went up once, they came down and went right back up again, and he just got him on that second pump. So out they walk to the free throw line. There's never been a double overtime title game in the NIT. We've got .7 seconds left. We're tied at 64. I remember Sean Smith, the 6'6 junior, saying to me earlier against Providence in an earlier round game, he said, will you say hi to everybody back in Gastonia, North Carolina for me? Hey, they might put up a shrine to him in Gastonia, North Carolina if he hits his free throw.
They know who he is, but now Mike Deane had to set up his play. No timeouts left. He's got it, whether it's a make or a miss, he's got to have a play designed for one catch and a shot.
For the NIT championship. Sean Smith. Got it! Here comes the throw by Marquette. They trail by one. They've got to try to catch it and throw a prayer. Pieper. Nope. Virginia Tech has won it. And I think your MVP is getting buried by his teammates.
He can handle it.
It was not to be a silver anniversary celebration for Marquette, but 22 years after Virginia Tech won it, Sean Smith has given Blacksburg reason to cheer. And that's what it's all about, and unfortunately, so is that.
And Bill Foster walking over towards us. Just a great performance, and there's the winning free throw. He just said, wasn't that one of the luckiest games you ever saw? Well, a lot by design, a lot by Smith, and a lot of experience on the Pines.
Bill Foster said, I think only 2 of my kids have ever been to New York. And Bill Raftery said, have you shown them around? He said, heck, I've only been here 3 times. He kiddingly said, Blacksburg's not the end of the world, but maybe you can see it from there. Well, it's a pretty nice place tonight because they're celebrating in the big city. The Hokies have won it. Congratulations to Bill Foster and the 1995 NIT Championships. Their first title since '73. In overtime, 65-64. Don't forget to stay tuned for Baseball Tonight coming up next. So for Bill Raftery and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brad Nessler. Thanks for watching. So long from Madison Square Garden, and congratulations, Virginia Tech. You're the 1995 NIT champs.